My name is Lonnie. Growing up, my family was pretty wild. At a very young age, I was exposed to drugs and alcohol, mental, physical, and even sexual abuse. I was brought up and fed so many lies about the world and myself. Lies that I never thought I would be able to shed, and habits that I thought I would have to live with my whole life. Throughout school, I lived the way I was told to, took the classes I was told to take, and played the sports I was told to. I learned to live by my performance and feared ever making mistakes. Before Powerhouse, my life was stuck in a vicious cycle of self-destruction, to the point where I thought that suicide was my only option. I decided to drive to a parking lot and take a bunch of sleeping pills. I was found by an ambulance, and next thing I knew, I was in a hospital. Ever since then, I vowed that I would never do that again. But just because that wasn't an option doesn't mean I knew how to live. I was job hopping and smoking weed every day to cope with my depression and anxiety. And even though I knew I could have a bright future ahead of me, my habits were not going to allow me to get there. I was living with this woman named Janine. I knew her for a few years at that time, and she was a mother figure to me. She was the first person to show me what God's love and forgiveness really had to offer. On September 12th of 2022, she passed away suddenly overnight, and I found her on the couch the next morning. It was an extreme shock losing her so suddenly and having to call everyone and an ambulance. I was doing my best to still go to school and cope with the loss, but exactly 6 days later, on September 18th, my room caught on fire and completely burned down. I lost all of my physical possessions, but the worst was losing a few pets. The only two things that survived were my dog Pepper and a Bible that was gifted to me. I had no idea what was happening in my life at that moment. I was lost and very confused. The same day I was told about the Leadership College program at Powerhouse and how I should apply there and see what happens. I was wary to trust back then, but decided to at least check it out. They happened to have a service that night, and we decided to go to it so I can see how it is. The entire way to Folsom, I was questioning what to do and where to go. That night, I met with Josh and Chad and some of the other interns in the program, and a week later, on September 26th, I was moving to the guys' house. Coming into Powerhouse, I was very skeptical. I've never been able to fully trust other people before, and opening up about anything felt impossible. My first few months in the program were very shaky. Having my whole life change in 2 weeks was hard to handle. But fast forward to now in Powerhouse, I have a new view on life, and I no longer need substances to feel normal. God has worked miracles in me that I never thought was possible, and I am surrounded by so many supporting genuine people that sometimes it's hard to believe that it's real. It's also hard to believe that God has worked so much that I'm here giving you a testimony and I'm not even finished. In no ways am I perfect or completely healed, but now I have the tools and resources to face hard challenges in life and not have to go back to old coping mechanisms. And I'm excited to finally be in a position to explore what I actually want to do in my life. I have a couple of ideas that I would love to do, like pursue a job in personal training, a career of being a chef, or pursuing a career in ministry. But whatever happens in the future, I know that God has big plans for me, and I'm excited to see where He leads me.